This was the last thing I wanted to talk about, though. Because this girl is wild. So this is like a Republican person who decided to join DSA, become a dues-paying member to DSA in New York, I think, in order to like record their conversations and like get all the details, and so that she can like come out here and I guess do social media or whatever and explain this to explain how the DSA operates to people who don't understand it, which is so funny to me. So I'm going to read her thing and then I'm just going to let it play. How did the socialists win last night? It wasn't because of a rigged system or because of Soros. That's the narrative, though. You understand you're going against the narrative. It's because the DSA and NYC has built an election machine that outworks both the Democrat and Republican parties. This is internal data from their private meetings that prove it. Let's watch this.
Last night, the Democratic Socialists of New York City had a sweep of victories in which every socialist candidate running for the Democratic nomination for their local offices defeated the Democratic Party endorsed candidate. And conservatives all over social media were like, how could this happen? How could this happen? How could so many socialists win their elections? This must be Zoran Mandami and the Mandami machine. It is all rigged and da-da-da-da-da. It's all full of conspiracy theories today about how this happened.
And that's the modern Republican Party. You have to understand that. They, by the way, this is so funny to me because this girl is talking to an audience of nobody, except for me and you who are watching this right now. She is talking to an audience of nobody. The Republicans don't care about the reality of why the Democratic Socialists won in these elections. They want to come up with like conspiracy theories because that's easier than understanding the reality. And she's going to get into the actual reality, but I'm just saying, sweetie, nobody's listening to this. This has no audience.
Well, I'm going to tell you how it happened based on the data. And this is data that no one else has because this is data that I got when I infiltrated the Democratic Socialists of New York City last year and recorded their private meetings. I'm Carlin Borisenko. I'm an independent journalist covering the far left in America, and I've actually been a member of the Democratic Socialists in New York City, not under my real name, for the past couple years because
Thank you. Thank you for your money. I appreciate it. You're helping support somebody, I assume, as long as you're paying dues. We appreciate your support.
That gives me access to their private meetings where they share all of their data.
By the way, they act like this is all like all the things that she's about to list are very open. Like the DSA is very open about exactly what they do and how they do it.
About the electoral machine that the Democratic Socialists in that city have built up over the last decade. Because last night's victory was not a fluke. It was not a rigged election. It was the result of a machine that the DSA in New York City has created where they do the work. And quite frankly, they outwork both the Democrat Party and the Republican Party combined. And per usual, had people listen to...
I'm so confused, though, because sometimes I'm like, is this... Maybe she's just pretending. Like, because she's like, she joined DSA. She's been in DSA for 2 years. And then she's out here, like, giving compliments to them. Like, yeah, they just did the work. They did the work. And she's, like, dispelling all of the narratives that the Republicans are... Like, the Republicans are out there saying that, like, it was George Soros or whatever. Like, I'm like, are you sure this isn't, you're not just like trying to psyop the right or something, like into like telling them the truth or whatever?
To me, they would have already known this because I shared how Zoran Mandami won the Democratic nomination for mayor of New York City. I shared all their internal data in July of last year, but, you know, typically no one listens. They don't want to do the boring work of doing actual analysis on what's going on. They just want to scream Soros funding, which, by the way,
she's so right, though. She's so right. Nobody does want to do the actual work because the actual work, number one, is hard. Like what she's doing is like more difficult. And most Republicans or most conservative like influencer types and stuff are just fucking grifters. Like they don't give a shit about reality. They just want to make that money.
It's not Soros. The DSA makes millions of dollars a year in individual donations and dues that come from their members. That's another topic for another day. Right now, what I want to focus on is the fundamental work that the DSA does. And this is data from last year, but you have to understand.
See, I just appreciate so much that she's dispelling all these rumors. It's not Soros. They are just self-funded by dues-paying members. Like, that's awesome. I love it.
The same machine that got Zoran Mandami elected to mayor also got all of those socialist candidates elected last night. It's the same group. It's the same activists. It's the same fundamentals. What they did with Zoran Mandami is they both had a massive voter registration effort where they specifically targeted voters that they thought would be friendly to Zoran Mandami, and of course they're going to be friendly to other socialist candidates as well. They also held a voter turnout campaign to make sure all those new voters got to the polls, and there was a direct correlation between their voter registration and their voter turnout and the people who ended up voting for Zoran Mandami. They specifically targeted younger voters. There were upwards of 50,000 individual volunteers working for this campaign. They even targeted Trump voters and won 71% of their votes.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, they targeted Trump voters too, and they ended up succeeding with Trump voters.
They made millions of phone calls and knocked on millions of doors.
Dude, she has to be a psyop, man. This has to be an actual leftist who's just trying to just trying to explain to conservatives how the DSA operates. It has to be. Like, I don't understand. I sincerely do not understand.
That's how they won, guys. They outworked everyone. Follow along to learn more. Last night,
it has to be. There's no way she's for real, right? Anti-communist cult leader. I expose and decode the radical revolutionary far left in America. Maybe she's... What? A defiantly anti-communist. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's legit. I don't know. I cannot tell. I cannot tell if she's not. Like, I feel like she's like a psyop for the right or something. Like, this is insane to me that she actually went and did the work that they don't even want. The right does not want the work. They want it to be George Soros. Like, I don't know. I just thought this was hilarious, so I just had to show it to you people.